I'm Sarah, this is Abby, and welcome to A Swool Unlimited. I'm a scuba instructor, and I lived in my van for a little over 3 years after living abroad as a dive shop owner. Now I'm living in an old sailboat with the hopes of sailing and diving around the Pacific Northwest and beyond. On this channel, you'll get scuba lessons, dive site explorations, and sailing adventures. Join the community here on YouTube or come diving with me around the world on one of my expeditions.
Abby has a quick little reminder for you, don't you? Are you shy? Well, thank you. That there are 2 last-minute spots for my shark research trip in SOCORRO. It's coming up in April. It's very, very soon. These were cancellations, and we would love to have you. This is going to be spectacular diving, and we'll be doing the good work of collecting important data. If you want to join us, check out the details on my website. Let's get into the video.
My last cold water dive was in November, so I finally braved the weather and packed up my gear.
All right, we are off to Des Moines. Very exciting. Checking out a dive site I haven't been to before. So let's go. That's fine. I've been afraid of you leaving for some time. Oh man, this place is a mess. Buenos dias. Outside the door. Huh? You're like, I always go out the side door. This is my only door.
Today, I'm joining the underwater sports shop dive at Saltwater State Park. I wanted to check this spot out because in April, I'm putting together something fun for all of my Pacific Northwest followers. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see what that's about.
Oh my god, it's Anna in a dry suit.
I'm unhappy.
Oh my goodness.
I'm really not a dry suit diver.
Am I gonna freeze to death today?
No, because I'll be there as your buddy to make you survive. I had a GoPro once that I would start recording and I'm like...
Yeah, GoPros are notorious for being kind of crap like that. I have not missed the weight of cold water gear. Okay, so what do we have going on here?
Okay, I just bought the Sony A7CR, which has the 60 megapixel, that's the right word. Clearly I'm not a pro photographer yet. I just take good photos.
Yeah, you do.
With a brand new housing, Nauticam housing.
Ooh.
And a couple things that I'm testing out today are specifically if I put it together right and if it leaks. And can I get the focus to work when it's autofocus in here? The nice thing with the lower level TG6 is that it's kind of just point and click and it has everything that works kind of out of the box. It makes you look like you're a better photographer without knowing what you're doing. This one I have to actually flex my skills of like how I know how to do photography and make it work. Cool. So I'm starting out with manual, but I set up for manual focus, but I set it up as well where I know how to switch between their settings and the tracking and see if I can figure out which setting works for me at this point in my stage with this. And then I have my Sola Video Pro, which is a 15K light that I have decided to put on with these 2 arms from Backscatter, specifically because I'm waiting on a ball mount and an adapter from an M24 to an M16 to be able to put my light on my actual rig. But on my trip to Indonesia with Dive Ninjas, I saw that Jay used a kind of triangle configuration for his GoPro, and I thought maybe that'll work for my light for today. Since I'm just testing it out, I feel like it's okay. Though this is way too big of a light for what I'm trying to do today.
Cool.
It is a little heavy. So I brought extra arms that are like these to replace with these, and then I can use these floats to add here for my subsequent dives to figure out what I need from a buoyancy perspective, and if that doesn't work, then I'll get a float for around my lens port.
Okay, I'm testing out the new Nex fins today. Very excited about this. They're supposed to be negatively buoyant, which is exactly what I want for dry suit diving. And I've already told my buddy that I'm putting on extra undergarments and testing out new fins. So she knows that if I'm making a mess, I'm gonna blame it on that. Look at how pretty these are.
They're very nice.
Yeah, right? I need to run over them with my van to make them match the other ones.
I'm trying to think. So, like, my weighting yesterday was, like, perfect for what I'm wearing today, except for now I have an 11-pound camera setup with me.
Ooh.
And I know my floats it's not neutrally buoyant yet.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about removing 4 pounds from my side weights.
Okay.
Primarily because of the surface swim at Saltwater that we have to do, because I'm more worried about not being able to hold it up in case it's leaking than I am with being underweighted or overweighted.
Before a shore dive, I like to test out my emergency oxygen kit and check I have all my safety gear, especially since there are a lot of divers in the water and it has been a few months since my last shore dive. No matter how much experience we have or how confident we are that our equipment is okay, it's important to review safety protocols and test our gear. Saltwater State Park is a sweet little dive site with plenty of parking, an on-site bathroom, and an easy walk to the water. It does require the Washington State Park Pass, so you can get a day pass or just spend $30 for a whole year.
Make sure these are actually gonna fit. Oh yeah, that'll be great.
It is a decent surface swim out to the buoys where the dive site technically begins, so if you plan to visit and happen to own a DPV, this is a great place to bust it out. One thing to watch out for here, and with any dive site where you have a long surface swim with current, make sure to account for the strength and direction of the current as you are swimming out. Take note of landmarks on the shoreline to ensure you stay on the right track and glance back at your target destination regularly as you swim. It is easy to get distracted by the effort of the swim and then get swept off the dive site entirely. The topography is a sloping bottom with patches of seagrass down to at least 3 different structures you can visit which are marked by buoys. Most structures are within open water limits, which is 18 meters or 60 feet or less, but you can explore deeper parts of the site if you have the comfort and skills to go deeper. Plumose anemones cover the structures and make a lovely home for all types of rockfish, lingcod, crabs, and shrimps. I heard there was even a juvenile wolf eel in the rocks, but I didn't get lucky enough to spot it. It was a nice change to use the Nex Underwater Products fins on this dive. They are more negatively buoyant than my OMS slipstreams, which make them a lot more comfortable for dry suit diving. Plus, I'm always a sucker for a good white fin because especially in places with lower visibility, the white really pops underwater.
All right, Miss Anna goes diving. What'd you find with your camera setup?
Okay, first, don't let it track your object or whatever you're filming, because I had it on insect, but not everything, because I was testing macro, but not everything is tiny insect size. So it didn't work well for like crabs, and it often didn't pick whatever the face was. It would pick random other vibrant objects around them,
Okay.
which I didn't expect. Yeah, it's mostly like point of focus. So I wanted it to focus on the face and the eyes, and it focused on the bulbous to the left of the face, because I don't know, it thought that was a thing, which is weird. And I think it's because crabs have eyes that are farther apart, so it doesn't naturally see that it's a thing looking at you, similar to like normal insects. But then when it's face on, it's more likely to have the right eyes. I mean, all of the pictures are a little bit cloudy, and I think it's because my ISO was not set correctly, but it did a great job at picking up the greens, the variation of greens, which I think is something nice about diving in the Puget Sound, is all the different greens that you don't realize. And then,
that's a little fin.
And I tried to get some good shots, and I'll color correct them.
Cute.
With the full fin.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Cool.
And then the cool ones, which are just, yeah, so I got some artsy fartsy shots of some crabs, which are not my normal style or the style I will continue, but at least it saw the two eyes and it focused where it should this time. But it definitely does better with the eyes forward. Okay. And then this is probably 10 shots of its body and 10 shots of its tentacles and 1 shot of the eye, the way I wanted it. So again, I think the key is learn your camera and the settings and do a practice dive to figure out how to hone your skills on your new setup.
Love it.
Yeah.
So now you have an idea of what you need to change for your next dive.
I have a lot of ideas on what I need to change. This is probably one of my favorite ones, only because I can use it for a PowerPoint presentation later.
Oh, yeah.
Title.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, this was the only way I could get the picture of this, because that's where the camera kept focusing, even though that's not where I wanted it to focus.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So it definitely zooms. Macro lens works. That works.
Sick.
Yeah. But again, the issue that I found was when I was looking through my photos, and I did not import these ones. Half of my photos, have half and half. Yeah. So I don't know why. Where it's the actual photo is the top half, and then the white part just appeared, but the photo before it and after it are the full photo with the same framing.
After a short surface interval, I grabbed a new tank and went back out. I was the only diver to do 2 dives that day because the surface swim is no joke. Luckily, I hitched a ride with a Tina on a scooter for most of the way, which made the swim out and back a total breeze. Once we arrived at the buoy, I did notice that my boat fit the requirements for mooring there. So you can bet I'm saving this in the logbook as a spot to check out with my boat this year. After this dive, I found out about the issues Anna was having with her new camera setup. She had an older memory card with a slower write speed than required for the new camera, and that, paired with a fast shutter speed, made it impossible for the card to keep up. That's why she was getting those weird half images. There are always a million interrelated items when it comes to underwater photography and videography. So the best way to start learning is to absorb the basics via social media and test dives with your buddies. Then, once you get some experience, sign up for a course or trip with someone who knows the gear you're using and can help you fine-tune your skills.
right, so my takeaways from the dive day. The dive site is very cool, and I'm actually including it in the itinerary, I guess I'm gonna call it, of my Pacific Northwest meetup. If you don't know about that, you should follow me on Instagram and other platforms because I have announced that over there. I'm getting a group together to dive in the Puget Sound as well as a missile silo, which is in eastern Washington. It's going to be very cool. There will be limited spaces, and I'm just looking forward to getting together with some more people in this area, seeing a dive site that I've never checked out before. The silo is supposed to be very, very cool. That is number one. Number two, I'm very pleased with the Nex fins. They are a little bit lighter than the jet fins, but they're heavier than my Slipstream, my OMS Slipstreams. So it's a good in between, and I'm curious if they'll be able to translate to wetsuit diving a little bit better than like a jet fin does, at least for me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, and I look forward to doing some more cold water diving out here. It was a perfect rainy Pacific Northwest day, and now I just have to bring some order to the mess that is my van right now. So that's it. That's the video. If you want more from the Aswul Unlimited community, check out my Patreon page. It's a good time. And if you want to go diving with me, check out my upcoming expeditions. Okay, goodbye.
It's so crazy.
This is the